Robinson, it is so good to have you here, man, to share a bit about your story of freedom over porn and masturbation. Thank you, man, for being here.
Thank you for having me, Sean.
Yeah, it is my pleasure. It's a privilege to have you on here to share. Man, you're married, you're a father, and recently a podcast host. So that's really cool. On top of this, you're someone I consider a dear friend, and
Mhm.
I'm grateful to know you, man.
Thank you, Sean. Likewise, man. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, so it's been a little while since we actually finished working together and since your graduation from the Secret Habit coaching program. So, you were a one-on-one client, then you worked with me in a group setting, and it's been really fun to see your growth over the past year and a bit as a man pursuing sexual integrity. And I know that you have a rich story, and this short testimony is only scratching the surface. But with that being said, I got a few questions for you, Robinson. What do you say we get into those?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool, man. Robinson, what was your life like before working with me and working with Secret Habit, like individually in your marriage? Just tell us a little bit about what was your life like before working with me?
Yeah, so my life before working with you was very challenging, I would say. I was desperate. I was lost. I was having a hard time dealing with my struggle with pornography within my marriage. I thought getting married would solve the problem, uh, and it did not. That's a myth. And I really didn't know how to love myself in the midst of all of that. I was beginning to lose hope. You know, I was thinking there must this must be something that I just deal with for the rest of my life. There's no real freedom available for me. This is just a thing that men deal with.
Mhm.
Was kind of the place that I was in, and but there was something in me that didn't give up the pursuit of freedom.
Mm,
And working with you really got me there. You know,
mm,
it got me to the place where I felt that freedom was actually possible.
mm. Yeah, I have fond memories of some of our challenging conversations around your struggles in committing to some of the process and
Mhm.
different emotional struggles. So it's so cool to see where you're at today. So, kind of piggybacking off what you just said, Robinson, what would you say was different about the work we did together, and why do you think it worked for you?
Yeah, I think, I had done counseling prior. I had done 12-step recovery. I mean, I was seeking different programs, different things to help me with my journey of recovery and healing. And I think working with you, what was different was you helped me actually confront
Mm,
the emotional pain and helped me to see that my acting out behaviors were a symptom to it,
mm,
and there was a deeper issue underlying
yeah.
why I was going to pornography as a way to cope. So I think I have been avoiding the emotional pain for years.
Mm,
And working with you really was challenging because you you were calling me out, and calling me to confront and address and sit in the pain.
mhm,
And as I sit in that pain, healing actually began to um, come into my life.
mhm.
And I could I remember tangibly after our sessions working together, just allowing myself, even like for I would try like 1 minute and then increase to 2 minutes and five
Mm,
minutes of just sitting with
mm,
the heaviness,
yeah.
not avoiding, but just sitting with the pain,
Mm,
allowing myself to be in that place, that vulnerable place.
yeah.
And in time, I began to heal.
Mm. Wow, well, that's for me to hear that is amazing, but for someone who doesn't understand that, that might be really challenging. And I just have this memory of this one story that might lighten what was just shared. I think what you just shared is incredible and it means a lot to me. But I even remember one specific moment where you were so excited about giving yourself a space in your day to go buy some sneakers. And that is healthy. Like that wasn't compulsion. That was you caring for yourself, doing something you wanted to do and being excited about it. And how different something like that is from compulsion of going to the mall to spend money to feel better about yourself, but doing it from a place of self care. So that's something that I remember about you, and that was really cool. Robinson, what would you say are two or three of the greatest rewards of the freedom that you have today?
That's a really great question, actually. I would
Just two
say,
or three.
yeah, uh, 2 or 3. I would say just greater self-awareness. I think in the past, I thought it was either I white knuckle it or I give in, and now I discovered that there's a third path, like working with you, I discovered, "Oh, I can actually do self-care,"
Mm,
through the self-awareness of, "Okay, what are the needs that I have?
yeah.
How can I meet those needs in a healthy way?"
Mm,
So I say just greater self-awareness,
yeah.
learning to love myself, and that's the
Mm,
self-care piece that I mentioned earlier. And I think even just greater, like healthier self-esteem.
mm,
I think I struggled a lot with a very low self-esteem because of the shame
mhm,
and guilt of my past.
yeah. Wow. Okay, man. So those are two or three individually. Why don't you do one more regarding your marriage or life as a family man? What has that meant to you?
Yeah, I would say I've been able to be more present, the gift of
Mm,
being present and not being like bogged down by shame or guilt.
mm,
It's almost the best word to kind of connect that with would be the word blameless. I'm able
mm,
to walk just like this blameless life where I'm not hiding anything,
mm,
not in hiding. I'm able to walk freely and be honest with my wife and be vulnerable
mm,
to avoid, right, deception, to avoid
mm,
acting out behind her back, so I'm
yeah.
able to really address my fears, my anger, just all these different feelings
Yeah.
in a healthier way and communicate them, voice them so that it's not eating me up inside.
Hmm. Yeah. So good, man. And that speaks directly to that idea that our wives don't want perfection or need perfection. They want our honesty and the
Mm,
truth. So that is a huge reward. So, Robinson, my last question for you, and this one is really important for someone listening. Maybe they're lost, maybe they're stuck, maybe they're unsure if freedom is available to them. What would you say to someone who is in that spot, that you being one of those people who was once in their shoes? What would you say to them?
I would say that it is possible, that hope is not lost. I would say to not give up.
Mm,
The
yeah.
one thing that kept me going in my recovery journey, I would pray and I would say, God, if you don't give up on me, then I won't give up on myself.
Mm,
And that really did help me on this journey, just knowing that I wasn't alone, that I had not only you, Sean, but I had people in my life that
yeah.
were with me, that were for me,
Hmm.
and allowed me to open up and be vulnerable and be true to who I am and
Yeah.
stay true and even just give me freedom to share my story.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I would just say to not give up. Hope is available, and I know very well what it feels like to be in the
Mm,
pit and the shame and the guilt that comes from
yeah.
this type of struggle.
Yeah.
That it doesn't have to be a struggle, a forever
Hmm.
struggle.
Yeah.
Before I would I considered myself a porn addict. I no longer consider myself that because I don't identify myself with that because my behaviors have proven otherwise.
Mm.
You know, I'm going on uh, next month. Actually, in 2 months, I'll be 2 years sober from porn and masturbation,
Yeah,
and
man.
that's just something that I never thought possible. So I'm just
Mm.
a living testimony that freedom is definitely possible.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good, man. So what I hear you saying, Robinson, is that there is hope, that having a guide is really important, and having community and people on your team is really crucial.
Yeah, people that you can trust, not just everyone, right? So there's wisdom in who you let in,
Yeah.
but definitely not being alone in this journey and not isolating
Yeah.
is key.
Absolutely. We call those allies and faithful friends. And I know
Mhm.
that that was a big part of your journey, man. And it's neat to have you as a faithful friend in my life, Robinson. So thank you for sharing. So good to hear your story, just little tidbits of wisdom and experience. And I know that blessed me. I pray that it blesses whoever's watching this. And Robinson, I'm excited to hear about your podcast more and to continue to watch you grow as a man of sexual integrity. So thank you for being here and blessing Secret Habit Life Coaching and helping those who need help.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you for your testimony and for your ability to share truth and healing with
Hmm.
others. Appreciate you.
My pleasure and privilege, brother. Take care, man.
Take care. Bye.